Well, will this run? We're going to find out. This thing is 21 years old. My sister brought it down from Toledo. It was her neighbors that they had in the barn. Obviously been sitting a long time. It's an old Weed Eater brand. You see there, it's a Weed Eater Feather Lite FL 1500. Surprised it still has labels on it. But it has some of the obvious issues. It was one of those ran last time they used it, sat in the barn for years. Of course, both fuel lines are broke. Wouldn't have it any other way. Yep, the seal came off the lid. And looks clean on the inside of the tank. But as you can see, all over the handle, the tank, you can see all the dust and everything everywhere. So it's all over it. So we shall see if it runs. It's just a small one. It's just a little guy. It is. It's tiny. Just a little thing. One little one handheld deal here, but it does turn over. No clue if it runs. It's been years since they have actually physically used it, but when you turn it over, it sounds like it's got a piece dragging. I'll show you the back of the plastic here. This thing has been used and abused. Check this out. Those are drag marks from the string from it being started, from where it's been pulled and pulling out this way, rubbing the plastic so much that it actually cut through it. And when you turn it or pull the string to turn it over, it sounds like, if you guys can hear that, it sounds like something on the inside is rubbing as it turns. This one looks like it comes apart rather easy. Looks like you got what, one screw missing. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 8 screws, maybe something like that. Come out with an Allen head. So we'll take all these out, take the bottom off, and see what we happen to run into. Alright, a couple screws to go. Let's see what we got here. Kind of cool if it ran, as old as it is. But we'll see. It's definitely an old one. Some of these old ones, it's any important parts, it's kind of hard to find them. So when you get an old one like this, if it don't run, you're kind of stuck hanging on to it for parts. And this should be it. It should come off. Yeah, there's one problem. Get our tube out of the way. Here's our noise. If you guys can see that, hopefully it's picking it up. This sits down. It's supposed to be a washer and a nut that holds that in place. So the nut is totally gone, which lets this, just the fan that spins to create the air, come completely off. And it's not in the housing anywhere. Let's see if it's, that sucks. You can kind of see on the plastic where it's loose, well, where it was loose, sitting on here spinning. Surprised it didn't break the blades off, but you can see on here where it's, they used it an awful lot with that nut missing. There's a spider. So we'll have to do, if it runs, I'll still going to try to start it out of curiosity to see if it does actually still run. But sure nothing moves. We'll set all this aside, and what we'll do is throw a couple of screws back in, just enough to hold it in place, and prime the carb and see what we get. So we get this covered to where it's nice and tight. We'll prime the carb up and we'll see what happens. So I think we might have some bigger fish to fry here. I think. Just watching still. There ain't no way. I'm going to start with it like that. So we're going to do, because you know we got the fan, everything we just took out. So what we'll do is, it's got an E3 plug. Take it out, then pull the cylinder again. Boy, it's definitely been in there a minute. And all that crap. Might actually have one of those. Let's try turning it over now. There we go. So there's a good chance the cylinder is just super dry. It's been setting for a long time and it's just hanging up. So I can try is just turn over, drop the cylinder down, and I have, here it is, right here, some spray lubricant. I don't know how well this will work out, but shoot it a little bit down that cylinder just to get a little something down in there to help them rings. Yeah, no, this might cause a complete fail. I don't know. I don't know if this stuff even works. Nope. Half a can, no pressure. Alright, well, we got this. Try a little bit. Just enough to get the cylinder damp. Okay. Oh yeah, you can see it down in there. Now, let's see if we've got any kind of compression here. Oh yeah. Alright, so we got compression. Whether we have spark, who knows. Well, let me see if that plug is the same as that one. What's this? This is the E. Yep, same style plug. Got lucky. These are the ones we found on clearance at Walmart for next to nothing. That was a while ago. Honestly, didn't think I'd come across anything that took this plug. I'll go ahead and throw a new plug in it since I have one. Let's get that air filter cover off. That Phillips. There we go. So we might get lucky. Well, let's see how hard it's turning over now. Yeah, she's not happy. I'll let that oil sit in a little bit. My guess is this thing does not run. I think it's going to have a ton of issues. It has definitely been used and abused. The string's not wanting to go back in. It probably just needs, actually, probably just need to take the whole thing completely apart. Clean it up. And the air filter is supposed to be black, now it's brown. It's falling apart. Look at that. It falls apart when you touch it. It's been in there so long. Chamber is actually clean. I don't know. It's not looking too promising, I'll tell you that. I don't know. We'll try it. The worst it's going to do is not start, right? So, let's shoot a little juice on it. This one doesn't have a throttle, you know, finger throttle. This is, just has the little red switch, stop all the way down, half choke, and run. So we'll get a little bit of gas in there. Yeah, that should be enough to see if she'll kick off, I hope. Get it down in that cylinder, so cross your fingers. That's that oil I put down in the cylinder. So now we know it does run. So, jiminy Christmas. So it does run, and so I'll go ahead and put fuel lines on it. After this basement air is out, put fuel lines on and get some of this cleaned up. And I think, actually, this one ain't much better shape. I might have a new one somewhere that'll fit it. Yeah, it fits. It was actually in too bad a shape, so I might just use that one. But get some fuel lines in it, some fuel, clean it up a little bit, but we'll see if it runs. Okay, this one is kind of like that other one that we worked on. The fuel tank, you got two different size. If I can get it in the right light, you can kind of see it there. You got two different size fuel lines on this one. The main line's big, return line's small. But like all the other ones we do, you cut it at an angle, feed it in. But this one, you need a fuel line that is, like this one, it needs to be a thicker line. Well, this one, it's got to be a bigger line, but I don't have one here I can show you. I'll kind of show you on this one. The inside diameter, it needs to be bigger in diameter, but it needs to be small diameter on the inside to fit on the prongs where the nipple is sticking out on the carb. So you have to be careful of that. And of course, cut it at an angle. Put a little bit of grease on it. And hopefully she starts going in. Some of these, I've mentioned it before, that sometimes you have to cut them. I can just show you on this one how it's at an angle. Sometimes you have to cut it back a little bit farther just to get a longer piece to go in. Depends on how thick sometimes that the tank itself is. This one's pretty thick, so it might end up having to happen with this one. We'll see. So where it's arched back, it's like back here, so you can't really see it and grab a hold of it with anything until you get it fed in some. So that'll be the trick with this one, because it's part way in and I can't even get down in there to see it. But this is the main line, so that's how you do it. You just keep twisting, pushing, twisting, pushing till you get it to where you can see it. Once you get it to where you can see it, just grab a hold of it, pull it up, install your filter. So I'm going to fight with this tank. So I'm sitting here dragging it out. I'll get the lines installed and then I'll be back. Alright, I'll show you this line. That's how much I actually had to cut it back, which is probably about 1.5 inches or so. I trimmed back to get it to feed through. So that's what I was saying. Some of these, instead of just cutting it at like a normal angle, sometimes you have to trim them back some. And once you get it there, just cut her flush like so. Get your new fuel filter. Shove it down, make sure it's all the way on. Should go all the way up to the upper part right there. Shove it down in there. Get it to where you need it. Draw back up. Kind of eyeball it. Some of the tanks, this one's old, so it's all yellowed out, but some of the other ones you can kind of see better through. And you can pretty much judge where it's at. This one, it's close. Should be close. So want to get it to where it's laying flat on the tank. You can see it right there. That should be the filter right there, laying that dark spot. So it's laying flat on the tank. So that's it for the lines, really. I mean, all you you got to do with the couple of the screws back in it here real quick to hold it in place and hook the carb up real fast. This one, if you have this particular model, there's 3 screws holding the tank. One of them is small. The small one goes underneath the carburetor. You got a long one here, a long one over here. You run them down real quick. What size is this? 4 millimeter. So run them down real quick. It's all plastic, so that's why I'm not using a drill. I mean, you know, you could set your drill if it has an adjustment on it to where it's goes to grab, it'll release for you, you know, keep from stripping your screws out. But to each their own. Man, that thing, forgot to clean that one. But you know, do what you feel is best. There we go. New filter, new lines, voila. So now all you gotta do is just cut them to length. You got your primer on, or your return on top. Main fuel line's on the bottom, so since it's on the bottom, I'm going to do it first. And try that right there. Remember, it's always better to cut them too long than too short, because you can always trim it off a little. There we go, nice and tight, decent angle. You can see, get you where you can see, but you'll be able to see the arch in it there. Didn't realize that's out of adjustment, but you can see how it's not kinked is what I'm trying to say. And here's a return. Cut it about right there. This one, where it's a little bit smaller diameter, it's a little tougher to slide on that nipple. I did put a little bit of grease on there, help it slide on. Here's the dog. So there we go. Done deal. New fuel lines, new fuel filter, new spark plug. I do have an air filter for it. So now, the one thing you have to remember is I'm going to have to go to Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever I happen to be by, Tractor Supply, whichever. We're going to have to find a nut for that shaft on the inside. So we know now it barked off, so we know it runs. It's getting fire, we know it runs, but we'll have to get, I have plenty of washers, but we'll have to take this unit with me to one of the hardware stores. I'll take the base off, take it with me, and find a nut that fits that shaft. And then before we can do anything else, I've got to find a nut that fits it, so we can mount this back up in there and see if it works. And then I don't know how well it'll actually blow with that big hole in it right there. You can see the light shining through. So, but you know, this is more of a try to get her back in shape a little bit. And so I'll take it to a hardware store, get a nut for it, and we'll pick it back up. Alright, the nut that was missing right here, if anybody's wondering, I found it at Home Depot. It is a fine thread 5/16 by 24 there. You can see fine. Home Depot, 81 cents. So the only thing left now is to button it up. I did put a light duty thread locker on that just to keep it from coming back off. So we'll get everything put back together and see if she'll fire up and run. Here we go. Moment of truth. I didn't fix the plastic back here, so we'll lose some air out of there, but that's fixable. I mean, if you was worried about it, it'd be an easy fix. You just get you how I think I'd probably done it was put something on the inside to block the hole and fill it with like a hot glue gun or plastic weld, JB weld, anything like that. Let it harden and take your tape off the inside. It'd block that off. But let's see if she runs. Hopefully. Now the primer's working. Never did check the carburetor on this thing to see if stop run. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Yep, primer just split, so let's hope for the best. Maybe I should have changed it, but One thing will be though, if it starts, it's probably going to smoke like crazy from where I had to lube that cylinder. But you see how much it smoked in the beginning of the video. Definitely turning over a lot better. Actually runs pretty daggone good. I'm surprised. It's only been ran in a while. You can see, if you guys can see the smoke coming off the exhaust from where it's been sitting for so long without being used. So I asked my sister. She said she didn't know. She said it's just been sitting for years. People haven't used it, and they can't even remember last time they used it. It's just been sitting in their barn for a long time. So actually, for something that's been sitting for really long and being this old, it actually runs rather well. Yeah, especially since it's 21 years old. That's pretty good. I did have somebody comment on one of my videos. Was it yesterday, I think, day before? They was asking about 2-cycle fuel, whether I ran standard unleaded gas or ethanol-free fuel, like you can get in those cans. I've always looked at it to each their own. Like this thing is running perfectly fine. Unleaded with standard 2-cycle fuel mix, running, I think it's running on 40 to 1. And I have tried in my cot, Walmart, they had a clearance going on. I should have brought, well, I used them all, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the metal cans. It's about like yay big or so, and they're like super expensive, like $8 or something like that for a can of pre-mixed ethanol free. So I've never really used, I bought those 2 cans, used them. That's the only time I've ever used it. But I have a guy I work for. I've worked for him for, probably going on 21 years now, doing landscaping in his property. He runs steel products. He's had the same units. He had them before I started working for him. And he's never ran ethanol-free fuel in them. It's always been standard unleaded gasoline with the steel 2-cycle mix. That's his trimmer. He's got 2 blowers, a trimmer, chainsaw. I mean, everything that you could possibly need for yard work. I run them year-round. So I'm saying I've been out there for like 21 years using them, maybe 22, and it's never been on ethanol-free fuel. So each their own on that. I know a lot of people swear by it. Some people don't. Some people really honestly don't care. I'm kind of like the latter. It's to me it's personal preference. I've never preferred it. My main reason is because it's so daggone expensive, and most of the stuff we get is just cheapo. I don't know about you guys. I can't run around buying like steel products and brand new and snappers and stuff. That stuff's crazy expensive. But to each their own. God bless you if you can afford it. Good for you. But we got us winter here. So I'm saying this little. Well, I do now. I have to replace the. You guys can see it did split. So I should know better. I should have threw one on it while I had it down there. But it split, so that's an easy fix. All you have is your 2 screws right here. The ring comes off, put your new one in, tighten it back down, you're done. So that's it for this one. It's definitely a win. Well, it will be since I fixed that. And then it's the same with this. Air does come out when it's running, not like a ton. It blows really well, but if you're super concerned about it, that's just from someone pulling the string down. As you can see, it locks right in. But That just goes to show this thing's been used and abused for a long time. But you could patch it. You could get some of that plastic weld or JB weld, something like that. Just put something on the inside, smear it over, let it harden, and you're good to go. But wraps it up for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and got lucky, I think. I honestly didn't think it'd run, but thanks for watching. Thanks to new subscribers, and if you want to see something crazy, go look at the short I just posted of the Craftsman. That's a big snowblower too. The Craftsman snowblower, I just posted a short of it, and look at the hole in the side of this engine block. Alright guys, thanks for watching.